Hello, everyone. I'm going to chill for the rest of the night, but this is a preview I'm going to leave you with of an upcoming topic that I'm going to tackle the best way I can, Lord's willing, on this documentary series that I want you to check out called The Weight of the Nation. Very interesting series, and these people are trying to come up with solutions. I just differ with a lot of their solutions and everything. I'm not saying it would not work, but what the if you're interested in the lifestyle, diet, or the food regimens that I recommend is not what they would recommend. Not saying it will not work for you, but I'd like you to hear about it. I give my opinion on it, and if you are interested in hearing about their solutions. You already know a lot of people are obese here in America, but the weight of the nation, I want you to check it out. But here's just a little taste what I'm going to be addressing myself.
She knows that we don't know that it's a lot easier to lose weight than it is to keep weight off. And that's why even if you look at a lot of the diet plans that are out there, they're all focused on losing weight, not on maintaining what you've lost.
How many pounds have you lost in a lifetime?
Oh, mercy. Goodness gracious, do you have a calculator?
Upwards of 200 pounds 3 times in my life.
40, 45 pounds, 53 pounds.
Of course, I'm a backsliding sinner, so after about a year, I was ballooning back up.
But now I done gained that back. I've gained all of that 45 back.
I would lose 20 pounds, gain back 40.
I'm definitely a yo-yo dieter.
I'd say probably close to 300 pounds.
I can regain it literally almost in a weekend sometimes, 10 pounds, where another person could have the same food and wouldn't have an issue at all.
It definitely feels like my body has a set point that it's fighting me to keep.
Individuals losing weight are not metabolically the same as they were before they lost weight. Consider 2 individuals, same gender, same age, exactly the same body weight. One of whom is at that body weight as a result of, let's say, a 10 or a 15% weight reduction, and the other who's been at that weight for their entire adult life. The weight-reduced individual will be requiring about 20% less calories per day relative to what somebody of that weight who's never lost weight would eat, or eat 10% less and increase their physical activity by 10% in order to keep at that body weight. If that reduced individual goes out to lunch with her friend and they both order the same meal, that will represent a 20% overeating for the weight-reduced individual, quite normal for the individual who's not in that state. 20% may sound like a little, but 20% excess caloric intake a year will account for the inexorable weight regain. As far as
Very interesting, very interesting. I want to touch on that going into the next programs. Now remember, I already peeped out what their solution is: low calories. This is what this documentary is all about. To save America, they are focused on low calories. And I'm not even in the middle. The documentary is about at least 1 hour and 12 minutes and 53 seconds. I have let you listen to 18 minutes and 14 seconds of it. And you notice, if you have been paying attention, that it's mostly focused on low caloric intake. Low calorie is the solution. Remember, he was giving, these are look like twins, and one eat less calories and another one just eat more calories. One 1,600 and the other one, remember, this is all mostly American standard. There's not a really standard of eating. This is just an American standard. Did you know that? Yes, American standard, which is what, 2,400, 2,000 calories per day according to the American standard, which really doesn't mean nothing to a low-carb person. Okay, let me digress. One of them eats about 1,600 calories, and the other one 200 calories. But you notice, and I'm going to keep putting emphasis on this and throwing this out there. If you look at this picture they got, what does the calories consist of on both of them? She got coffee, she have a big slice of chocolate cake, she have other stuff around it. I mean, different meals, but it's almost like consisting of, now what's the American standard routine? Breakfast, right? Lunch, and dinner. Just say you add that all up to 2,000 calories per day. Calories, if you focus on the calories and saying the calories is the issue, too many calories, not what's in the calories or what's in the intake of the calories, but too many calories, then there will be a problem for you if you go over that 2,000. If you just say, I'm going to cut back on the 2,000 like he's trying to present here and go to 1,600 calories. And then he said she worked out and then she went out with her friend and she wound up eating more than 1,600 calories, even though it's a recommended 2,000, but wound up eating 1,600 calories, maybe 70, 80, 90, and she ate about 400 calories more. That's overeating to her. She overate her calorie intake. So he said within a year, if she keep doing that, she's going to pick up weight and live and be overweight. Now, that can be true. That can be true. I don't believe it so much, but it can be true. The reason I kind of somewhat differ, and I'm not a scientist, is back to my point in my last podcast. What is she eating? What is she eating? That will have an effect on her because her all around eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner is also mixed with sugars and other stuff in her caloric intake. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is where I'm seeing it, but in a low carb way, put myself there. If I was consuming 2,000 or 1,600 calories per day, and I wanted to keep it 1,600 calories per day on a low carb or even a no carb, which I have been doing, and I just kept it, and I was mostly focused on the carbohydrates, not the calories, in order for me to maintain my weight or lose my weight. And by me looking at the carbohydrates of 1,600 calories, it's very important what 1,600 calories that I'm putting in me. So if I'm just focusing on the carbohydrates, not so much the calories, it wouldn't matter if I ate 1,600 or 3,000 calories. As long as I got the right carbohydrates or no carbohydrates going in me, because that's what makes my body happy and that's what draw me into ketosis. You understand what I'm saying? So my menu wouldn't be like hers with cakes and all that on there. There would not be no cake and none of the other stuff on there. What you will see on a carnivore diet is only meat. 1,600, 2,000 calories of meat. On a keto diet, you won't see all that sugary stuff. You will only see mainly meats, protein, and the right, correct vegetables. Maybe a little fruit, the best fruits on a keto. You see the difference? But they all add up to 1,600, 2,000 calories. See, it's just not the calories. Every calorie is a calorie, but every calorie is not good for you. See, that's the difference for looking at these traditional doctor standards, and that's the difference between the way a low carb person and a low calorie look at food. See, too many calories, this is a low calorie person. Too many calories, bad. Okay? A low carb look at it like this. Too many calories, there's really not too much emphasis on too many calories, but too many carbohydrates is bad. You see the difference? Low calorie person is focused on too many calories. A low carb person is focused on too many carbs. You see the difference? That's why calories most of the time don't affect a low carb person eater or a keto or Atkins or a carnivore type of eater like myself. But this is for my body. My focus is carbohydrates. See, not calorie, even though it is a calorie, but it's a bad calorie. So that's why when a calorie person said they cut calories, that will help them. A carb person say cutting carbs. I don't care about the calories. I can eat a lot of calories as long as there ain't a lot of bad carbs up in there. That's going to help the body. You see the difference. You understand what I'm saying now. You follow what I'm saying now. So low calorie is never my focus anymore. It's low carb. See, I can eat 2,000 calories a day, long as the carbs are low. Whether it's 5, 10, 20, or 30 for some people, my carb intake must be low. See, for my body. And 9 times out of 10, this will work for most obese people. But the main thing when you want the low carb, the main dangerous thing you must eliminate is sugar, first of all. So that cake that I see on this and all that other stuff, even though they say it's added calories, now this person might not eat. I'm just going by what I see on this picture. This is an old picture, like it was in the 30s or 40s. See? So, and this, I'm looking at this and I'm scientifically not checking, but I'm looking at it. And it shows me the American traditional diet, if you don't know, is mostly low fat and more higher carbs. That's the American traditional diet. That's the American standard diet that we grew up on. Most of our moms and dads, they recommended, even though they didn't even know what they was doing. It's just like magic, they just went along with the flow. See, it was never carbohydrate focused. Growing up, you didn't hear nothing about don't eat a lot of carbs. You just heard about don't eat a lot of calories. Remember? That's the American dream. But even though that was preached, people still getting fatter, and they still got fat. Even kids are fat. And they still told, you better watch those calories. Not watch the carbs. They saying watch those calories. In other words, you don't need another slice of cake. That's too bad for you. They don't look at the carbs. Cut that cake in half. I heard people say, cut that cake in half. No, a low-carb person would say, get rid of that cake because that's what's hurting me, that's what's killing me. A low-calorie person say, cut it in half or take some of the icing off. You see the difference in thought patterns when it comes to a low-calorie and a low-carb type of outlook. In order for you to do a low-carb, your mind must become that way. Not calories, but carbs. Bad carbs especially. If you're on the keto, you want to keep your carbs more low, like 10 grams of keto, 10 grams of vegetables or something like that. If you're on the carnivore, like I started off with, which I'm more ketogenic now, but it's starting off the carnivore, you have no carbs. You have to watch your consumption of liquids that you put in. So you're not worrying about any carbs. And you're not worried about the calorie intake as much because the focus is no carbohydrates. You see what I'm saying? And then you build up to the good carbs because the keto and the carnivore is elimination diets, elimination all junk food and ultra processed bad foods, especially the carnivore. And then the good carbs you could add slowly but surely if you like to. You don't have to, but if you want to. You see the difference. So when it comes to the low carb and the no carb and a traditional low fat diets or low calorie diets, you see the difference. You must study the carbohydrates over the calories. Your biggest problem is not the calories. I'm going to be honest with you. It's the bad carbohydrate calorie that you're intaking. Real talk with Joseph Brownlee. I'm going to end that for today, which is Friday, but I'm going to talk about some other things pertaining to my health and how everything's been going with me on Body of Christ Real Talk, Health Talk, Lois Willie. So I hope you get something out of it. If you want to hear more about this documentary, and it's called The Weight of the Nation. I think this is part 2. Did I see part 1? I don't know. But this is supposed to be part 2. It's a HBO documentary called The Weight of the Nation. They do address some very important things about overweight and obese in America. That's so true what they address. It's good when it comes to that. But the solution for it, the solution to help America, they look at it as a whole. It will not. It will help a lot of people, but most of the people, it will not. They will wind up being yo-yo again, like a lot of people. You're going to wind up with the same thing because you focus on calories, not carbohydrates, because if you still consume carbohydrates, even some of the decent ones, that's going to keep you hungry and keep most people in their cravings when you're real obese and you have an addiction, because the issue is addiction to sugar and bad carbs. It's not easy to get rid of. You got to focus more than just the calories. God bless you. Peace out. Real talk. Health talk.